Green economy, impact of climate change. Climate change or long-term shifts in temperature and weather patterns is an issue that looms over everything today. After more than a century and a half of industrialization, deforestation, and large-scale agriculture, the quantities of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere have risen to record levels. As populations, economies, and the standards of living grow, so does the cumulative levels of GHG's emissions. The consequences of climate change now include, among others, intense drought, water scarcity, severe wildfires, rising sea levels, unprecedented flooding, melting polar ice, catastrophic storms, and declining biodiversity globally. Shifting weather patterns threaten to disrupt food production, even as rising sea levels increase the risk of catastrophic flooding. Without drastic action today, adapting to these impacts in the future will be more difficult and costlier. The effects of climate change have significant economic cost for many countries. The lower income countries are particularly at risk due to adverse effects of climate change. In circumstances, the concept of sustainability and green growth have gained importance in the international development discourse. What is green economy? Green Economy Coalition, a diverse group of 50 plus organizations from across the world, including NGOs, businesses, research institutes, and trade unions, among others, has defined green economy as a resilient economy that provides a better quality of life for all within the ecological limits of the planet. According to the United Nations Environment Programme, a green economy is one which is low carbon based, resource efficient, and socially inclusive. A green economy calls for the integration of economic and environmental policies in a way that highlights the opportunities for new resources of economic growth while avoiding unsustainable pressure on the quantity and quality of natural assets. In a green economy, growth in employment and income are driven by public and private investment into such economic activities, infrastructure, and assets that allow reduced carbon emissions and pollution, enhanced energy and resource efficiency, and prevention of loss of biodiversity and ecosystem services. Thus, an inclusive green economy improves human well-being and builds social equity while reducing environmental risk and scarcity. Such an economy is an alternative to today's dominant economic model, which exacerbates inequalities, encourages waste, triggers resource scarcity, and generates widespread threats to the environment and human health. In 2008, the UNEP had launched the Green Economy Initiative to provide analysis and policy support for investment in green sectors and for greening environmentally unfriendly sectors. The UNEP suggests that these green investments need to be enabled and supported through targeted public expenditure, public reforms, and changes in taxation and regulation. Focus on green economy envisages a development path that understands natural capital as a critical economic asset and a source of public benefits, especially for poor people whose livelihoods depend on natural resources. The notion of green economy does not replace sustainable development, but creates a new focus on the economy, investment, capital, and infrastructure, employment, and skills for achieving a positive social and environmental outcomes. Green economy reinforces the idea of sustainable development. Why the need for a green economy? The interest in pursuit of a green economy across countries has roots in concerns associated with the impending threat of climate change. The current mainstream sources of energy, oil, coal, gas, among others, are harmful to human health and environment as shown by a number of studies undertaken on the subject. In brief, it can be argued that the current approach to economic growth and development is environmentally unsustainable. Our natural resources are assets having a great capacity for generating income and livelihood, and they ought to be preserved for our future generations. A green economy comprises new pathways to low carbon, resource efficient, and a sustainable 21st century, says the UNEP. Principles of Green Economy. Green Economy Coalition envisions a green economy as one that provides prosperity for all within the ecological limits of the planet. The coalition proposed 5 key principles to provide the framework for a fair and a greener economic future. They are as follows. First, the well-being principle. A green economy has to be people-centered, focus being on growing wealth in a manner that supports well-being of all. This wealth is not merely financial but includes the full range of human, social, physical and natural capitals. Second, the justice principle. A green economy promotes equity within and between generations. It is inclusive and non-discriminatory and seeks to achieve a shared prosperity. Third, the planetary boundaries principle. Through acknowledging the limited sustainability of natural capital, the green economy invests in protecting, growing, and restoring biodiversity, soil, water, air, and natural systems. Fourth, the efficiency and sufficiency principle. According to this principle, there should be sustainable production and consumption in the economy. This principle envisages that there must be a significant global shift to limit consumption of natural resources to physically sustainable levels. There is no place for greed in this economy. Fifth, the good governance principle. A green economy is guided by integrated, accountable, and resilient institutions. It promotes decision making for local economies and invests management of natural systems in them. It encourages public participation, prior informed consent, transparency, social dialogue, democratic accountability, and freedom from vested interest in all institutions. Aspect of green economy. Green economy was one of the 2 themes at the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 2012. The summit recognized green economy as one means to sustainable development and poverty eradication. The involving concept of green economy involves the following characteristics. Green growth. The green growth approach, as adopted at the 5th Ministerial Conference on Environment and Development in Seoul in 2005, seeks to harmonize economic growth with environmental sustainability while improving the eco-efficiency of economic growth and enhancing the synergies between environment and economy. The World Bank has defined green growth as one that is efficient in its use of natural resources, clean in that it minimizes the pollution and environmental impacts, and resilient in that it accounts for natural hazards and the role of environmental management and natural capital in preventing physical disasters. Green growth targets poverty reduction, job creation, social inclusion, and environmental sustainability, climate change mitigation. The Seoul G20 summit in November 2010 recognized green growth as an inherent part of the Sustainable Development Framework. Energy transition. Related to the concept of green growth is the concept of energy transition. Current energy trends are understood to be unsustainable in relation to environment, energy security, and economic development objectives. The 2 main factors that have contributed to increased CO2 global emissions are rising energy demands in coal-based economies, mainly developing economies, and an increase in coal-fired power generation in response to higher prices of oil and natural gas. Fossil fuels are bound to continue to dominate energy supply for some time as societies and infrastructures have evolved around them. Promoting the transition to green resources of energy would require measures that promote growth while guiding the energy sector into modes of production and consumption that are more efficient and secure, have a lower environmental impacts, and improve opportunities to prosper. Circular economy and resource efficiency. The circular economy as a sustainable model of production and consumption involves sharing, leasing, reusing, repairing, refurbishing, and recycling existing materials and products as long as possible, thus extending the life cycle of products. In essence, a circular economy implies reducing waste to a minimum. When a product reaches the end of its life, its materials are productively used again and again, thereby creating further value. This is a departure from traditional linear economic model, which is based on a take, make, consume, throw away pattern. The world's population is growing, and with it, the demand for raw materials, which are, however, limited in supply. Also, the extraction and use of raw materials have a major impact on the environment. Energy consumptions and CO2 emissions also increase. A circular economy ensures smarter use of raw materials and ensures efficient use of resources. It helps green economy with its associated benefits of raw materials conservation, reduction of waste, continual save of natural resources, innovation, durable products, new job opportunities, efficiency, and CO2 emission reductions. According to the World Economic Forum, it offers an alternative that can yield up to 4.5 trillion US dollars in economic benefits by 2030. Green finance, technology, and investments. Developing countries are now driven by an urge to achieve faster economic growth to achieve their development objectives amid limited financial capacity and lack of research and innovation. Sustainable energy transition and green growth, and thereby transition to a green economy, remains a daunting task in developing economies. Green economy needs to be democratized. The cost of green development should be affordable for the poor countries. Add the Rio Plus 20 summit, developing countries led by India put forward a proposal for the required handholding. Two important mechanisms set up to achieve the above objective of democratization of green economy were 1. Green finance, and 2. Technology transfer. Green finance refers to the financial arrangement that are specific to the use for projects that are environmentally sustainable or projects that adopt the aspects of climate change. A significant component of a green economy strategy is to promote the development and adoption of sustainable technologies. However, the adoption of sustainable technologies poses immense challenges for developing countries lacking financial resources. The transfer of green technologies to developing countries under technology transfer mechanism can be a key measure for overcoming financial constraints and improving welfare. Green jobs. Green jobs refer to a class of jobs that have a direct positive impact on the planet and contribute to overall environmental welfare. Jobs involving renewable energy, conservation of resources, ensuring energy efficient means of production constitute green jobs in an economy. Globally, as well as in India, there have been multiple initiatives to encourage the green job sector. According to the International Labour Organization, India moving to a green economy by the next decade would alone create about 3 million jobs in the renewable energy sector. Green jobs can prove immensely useful in other sectors too, such as waste management, green means of transport, and urban farming, all of which have great potential to employ a trained workforce. Way forward. Poverty and environmental destructions are symptomatic of the systemic failures of traditional economic models. According to the UN, ecology, economy, and equity are the key points of a green economy. Those are the pathways to a wealthy and inclusive nation. A transition towards a greener economy is exactly what the world needs at the present moment. This transition will also help in attainment of multiple CDGs, both goals on climate actions as well as economic growth, justice, good health, and well being. Many more topics like this one in the book, Topical Issues in Indian Polity and Indian Economy. Precise, analytical, comprehensive. Link of the book is in the description.